Hi, my name is Tamara. Welcome to Anything is Possible. I live at Lake Chapala in Jalisco, Mexico, and I've been here about 2.5 years. I understand that a lot of people are probably pretty scared and frightened about living in the United States anymore and looking for other countries to emigrate to. I'm just going to give a few facts about the process of getting a visa to move here. And I'm going to put a link down below where you can consult with the actual government website. Things are constantly changing here, and I don't want to put out a video where the information is not going to be valid for very long. I encourage you to watch my other videos. I've been putting out videos since I moved here on various different aspects about living here. So you can get a little flavor of what it's like. It's not for everybody. I get a lot of comments from people that they think I don't like it here and that I'm not happy. I am actually very happy, but my videos are geared towards showing the reality of living here, the good parts and the bad parts, and I just want people to come here with their eyes open. Mexico is a really, really beautiful country. It's a very big country. Many people don't realize how large it is, but there are a lot of different climates here, something for everybody. Mexico is big, bold, and colorful. Mexico is very noisy and loud. Mexico loves to celebrate pretty much everything, often pretty loudly until about 2 a.m. in the morning.
Oh no! Oh, too bad. Oh no! Oh no! Uh-oh. Oh no!
Mexico is messy. It's a confusing combination of Catholic, ancient indigenous beliefs, traditional and modern, old and new. Mexico is delicious with absolutely incredible food. Mexico is clever. When things break, they often innovate ways to make things work with stuff on hand. And they are absolutely the masters of repurposing rather than throwing stuff away. People and relationships, connecting with others, children, and even just connecting with others when passing in the street. Make eye contact, smile, and say good day. Politics don't define relationships here. There is politics, and people can feel strongly about them, but it does not end relationships. My point is that you need to be very flexible. You need to be adaptable. You should make a serious attempt at learning some Spanish so that you can communicate with the people that live here. If you come here and you think things are going to be like they are back home, you're going to be probably very frustrated, at least for a while, until you learn to just slow down and accept that things don't happen the way here that they were in the United States. If you plan on moving here to Lake Chapala, um, there is not really any big malls or big department stores, that sort of thing. You would need to go to Guadalajara for that. I would not encourage you to move here if you haven't been on a vacation here or visited for at least a significant amount of time, and I'm not talking about a cruise to one of the coastal cities. I'm talking about actually coming and staying here for a week or two and getting a feel for what it's like in the real heartland of Mexico. Do you actually love Mexico? Or are you just planning on getting away from the United States? I think you should probably think about that. Going to something versus running away. It's a lot of time, expense, and effort to get a visa and actually pack up your stuff, sell your home, and move here. There are people who have lived here for a very long time, 15, 20, 25 years, very happily. But there's a majority of people, I would say, the love affair is over pretty quickly. They come and within a matter of weeks, months, or maximum maybe 5 years, and they're ready to move back home. I have to say, I've never really considered moving back, but there's times when I get nostalgic for early spring when everything is green and everything's sprouting out of the ground, and fall when the colors are so beautiful, and winter rains. We get no winter rain here. There's just a few things that you grow up with and you're used to. It just takes a little getting used to a new place and getting excited about what Mexico has to offer, which is its own version of the seasons here. Also, there's no family nearby unless you happen to move them down with you, so it's quite a trip if you have to go back to the United States to visit people. So I wanted to cover a little bit about the considerations involved in moving here. It takes quite a bit of money if you're going to move quite a bit of your stuff down. I moved almost none of my furniture. I moved all my hobby stuff, my woodworking tools, framed artwork, and all of my kitchenware. And that you wouldn't think that would be very much, but it did cost me about $10,000 2.5 years ago. The price has probably gone up since then. The actual cost for getting a residency here for a visa, the lowest, according to Mexico Relocation Guide, Raleigh, North Carolina, which is $3,100 a month income or $51,800 in savings. Um, and the highest was Seattle, Washington, which is $5,000 per month or $75,000 in savings. It may seem a little strange that the different consulates have different financial requirements. There is actually an amount set based on the minimum wage, which changes, it increases every year in Mexico, but the financial requirements increase every year based on the minimum wage here, and it is up to the consulates. They have a little leeway in terms of how much they actually want to make the requirements be for their particular office. To start the process of getting a temporary or a permanent visa, you have to apply to the Mexican consulate in the United States. Um, you can try getting the one that's closest to you. In my case, in Oregon, that was Portland. Portland only takes appointments from people that live in Oregon, and it was many hours drive to get up there, an overnight stay, then the interview with the consulate, bringing all of my paperwork with me. When I applied 2.5 years ago, I think it was about a month to get the appointment in Portland. I know now, I've heard that it can actually be months or even out to a couple of years in some places to get actually an appointment with the Mexican consulate. And the process of finalizing the visa is actually within 6 months in Mexico. So you start the process in the United States, you wait for approval, and then you have to get down to Mexico within 6 months and finalize it once you're here. The financial requirements are pretty steep for an awful lot of people, especially the monthly income. If you're relying on Social Security, there are too many people that are bringing in $5,000 a month from Social Security. But there is actually a program called Regularization, and you can get up to a 4-year temporary resident visa with that program. So there's a lot of different requirements. I'm going to put the link to the website page down below just so that it has the most current data. Is the best, always the best, to go directly to the government website. It's a bit of a pain to have to translate everything, but it's not impossible. And that way you get the latest information. Things change constantly, so it's impossible to put a video out and have current information or even a website. It has to be constantly updated, so it's better just to go to the government website to get what is happening currently. What the regularization program is, you have to come into the country on an FMM and it then expires. You let it expire and then you apply for regularization, and you can get up to a 4-year temporary visa, which you can then turn into a permanent visa. The financial requirements are much less than for a regular temporary visa that you would apply for from the United States. And I can't guarantee that the regularization program is going to continue. If there is a huge influx of Americans or other immigrants coming in, they will stop that. It is a little risky to bank on that, to come into the country on a tourist visa, let it expire, and then apply for a visa. So if you have the means to do it and you have the patience to wait for an actual appointment at the consulate in the United States, do it that way. So that kind of wraps up all I'm going to talk about in terms of getting a visa to move here and what the financial requirements are and how long it might take you, how much it takes to move here, if you want to bring your things with you. I should mention that buying a house in this particular area is pretty expensive. It's almost equivalent to what it was when I left Southern Oregon. And mortgages are very few and far between. They're short term and they're high interest rate in general. So you need to take whatever cash you have, and if you want to buy a house, and put it all into the house. So we're looking at, probably 250, $300,000 cash to buy a house. Rents are also pretty high in this area. Unless you happen to know people and have connections, you'll probably end up paying over $1,000 a month in rent here. But there's no shame in renting. There's a lot of really beautiful places, and my little place is very affordable. And you have to bear in mind that other expenses are much less. Food is very inexpensive, especially if you shop like the Mexicans do at the local little markets and your neighborhood tiendas, and cook for yourself and limit the number of times that you eat meals out. Don't live an extravagant lifestyle. Life is not too expensive here. Your major expense by far will be your housing. So I hope this kind of gives you an idea of some of the hurdles that you'll have to jump over in order to get here. It's not impossible. It seems a little hopeless at first, but if you just take it a step at a time, um, it's possible to do it, and I find it really wonderful. But it might not hurt if you can get an appointment at a consulate. It may be quite a long distance out. You might want to take a trip down here, visit some different areas that you think you might want to visit, and take a look at some of the data. Weather is really an important factor as far as I was concerned, and a really great website to visit is weatherspark.com. It has information on weather year round, in pretty much any location that you might want to go. An important thing to consider is how much the rainfall is and how humid it is at different times of year. I really don't do well with humidity at all, so I needed to stay away from the coasts. And so do your research. Take a trip down here if you haven't figured out a place that you want to live, and take your time. But if you want to do it, make sure you've got your passport ready and apply to a consulate for an appointment. You could always cancel if you decide you don't want to come here, but at least get on the list and get ready to come down. Uh, just one final word of caution. When you're watching YouTube videos or reading websites or looking at comments on Facebook, you need to be really careful about where the source is. A lot of them are run by realtors or even the Mexico Relocation Guide. She makes money if you buy her guide. So she sounds really enthusiastic about moving to Mexico, and sh there's just a lot of people. They don't tell you the downsides. They want to tell you only the happy, good stuff. And that's what my channel is all about, is to sort of just temper that with a real honest to God, somebody that lives here and isn't trying to make a buck um, to get you to move down. Whether you move down or not is up to you, but it doesn't work for a lot of people. And I want you to know why and give you some words of caution that consider the source when you're reading about different areas in Mexico or watching YouTube videos. Another thing is people tend to be actually a little afraid of Mexico. And there are actually areas of Mexico that are not particularly safe. I would have to say this area is quite safe. There are always dangerous elements around, as there are in the United States. Just do your research on what areas are safe and what aren't. Adopt a lifestyle that doesn't expose you to certain elements that you might not want to otherwise be involved with. And don't run around being scared all the time. You'll completely miss the wonderful, kind people that the Mexicans are. They're just really, really sweet, generous, thoughtful, kind, loving people. And there's a few elements that are bad, but that's true pretty much wherever you live in the world. I hope this video has been helpful. Rather than doing a talking head video this time, I just did a slideshow of some of my favorite pictures over the last couple of years. I just love it here. And every day I wake up and I'm so grateful that I live here. Whatever decision you make it from your heart. Whatever you decide, I hope that you are happy and can live in peace. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.